Uh-huh. Hey guys, thanks for joining us tonight. We've got a large menu tonight. In fact, the cook time says 35 minutes. We're using Green Chef again tonight. Pork tenderloin with spicy aioli. Man, I hope I pronounced that right. Aioli. So that's what we're going to be making tonight. A lot of steps, but you know, before we get started, I always want to make a drink, and I got one. I'm still using this Home Bar Basics book by Victoria Ferguson out of Alexandria, Virginia. And it's one of my wife's favorite drinks. It's the whiskey. It is the favorite drink. I'm being corrected again, and that's okay. It is her favorite drink. It's the whiskey sour. And so we're going to go ahead and get started with the whiskey sour. And we got to start first and foremost with our bourbon or rye that we're going to be utilizing. So let's go ahead and get our shaker. Fill that up with some ice. All right. Fill that up with some ice. We're going to start off with, since we're making a double.
It says Miss Midwestern Girl 0502, but that looks like your sister. She says go slow.
I'm going to go as slow as I can. So we're making 2 drinks out of this. So 1 drink calls for 2 ounces of the whiskey. So we're going to go ahead and make 2 drinks out of this. With your favorite whiskey or bourbon. We like rye. Love rye. Just has one of those flavors that it feels like an older drink, a more sophisticated drink. Fresh lemon juice. I'm going to cheat a little. I'm going to use fresh lemon juice from a bottle. So I'm going to use fresh lemon juice from a bottle. It calls for 3/4 of an ounce for the 1 drink. So we're going to go 1.5 ounces for the 2. Now, here's some deviation. It calls for the simple syrup. Well, what we have found was we've gotten really hooked on the honey syrup. And it basically is the same as simple syrup. You make it, it's 1-to-1, the honey versus hot water. And you want to mix it up. But it gives it a really good flavor whenever you're doing any type of whiskey drink. So whenever we are making the whiskey sour or any time that it calls for a simple syrup mixture, we try to add the honey syrup versus the simple syrup. And it's going to call for 1.5 ounces of this for the 2 drinks.
Danny says yo.
Yo!
You got about 140 people watching right now.
Nice. Thanks, guys. Thanks for joining.
Carless says, what's happening?
What's happening?
Oh, so it's Harfley.
So we're going to shake it. And, you know, as you've seen on Bar Rescue and John Taffer, you've got to have fun with the shake. You got to smile. Okay. Calls for rocks glasses. So we're going to take our rocks glasses. Got to get our rocks ice. These nice little silicone things that make these nice little square ice cubes right here are a great addition to the whiskey because you don't want a bunch of little pieces of ice floating around and watering down the whiskey.
Well, honey, you know they have these new cool refrigerators that make the ice. That would be a great addition.
So we're gonna. Oh, I forgot one important ingredient.
Danny says interact with him.
Danny, I forgot one important ingredient, and you should have. let me know. Most important thing is the egg. So whiskey sour has an egg white. So we're going to add the egg white to our...
Your sister says smoke the ice. I don't know how that would work.
I am not gonna smoke the ice.
Carla says we should get a new fridge, and then we can just give her hers. Give her ours.
I am not getting a new fridge.
No, okay, so now Carlos and Danny are saying smoke the ice. Everybody's saying
I'm
smoke the
not
ice.
smoking the ice.
Oh, you know what? I think Harley and Danny have a little...
They do have a little tabletop bar smoker. We're going to add our egg whites to our whiskey sour. Gives it that little froth at the end. We're going to shake it up a little bit. Because we're not doing this tonight just for the drink. We got a meal to get to. In fact, it's a good meal. It's got Japanese vegetable fritters. Whew. It's going to be good stuff. Can't wait.
Carla says she has a smoker for drinks too. Look, we should have smoked it.
We're going to pour it into our rocks glass.
Oh, Danny said you should have dry shook it with the egg before adding ice. Oh, look, you're getting critiques.
And that's fine. Bring them on. Bring on the critiques, because you know what? I'm not a bartender.
Carla says maybe that can be your next Father's Day gift if you actually use the one she got you 3 years ago.
Carlos is out of the wheel. We're going to top our whiskey sours with some moonshine soaked cherries.
Yum, yum, yum.
Ooh.
Carla says, put me back in, coach.
Look at that. Look at that. That's a whiskey sour.
Can I have
right
it?
there.
I'm just here for the drink.
Oh, that's good. Okay. Here we go. Now, let's put all our... We got our drink going. We got our music going. Drink going, music going. Let's get some food going, okay? Let's get some food going tonight. Let's move our ice bucket out of here. Out of the way. We'll put our bourbon up. Maybe a little bit later. We're gonna go ahead and put our bourbon up. Man, we got a big meal tonight. Honey syrup into the fridge that doesn't make the cocktail ice. Wash my hands. Let's get started. We're using the Green Chef tonight. Pretty happy with the Green Chef so far. We've done that quite a few times. Tonight is pork tenderloin with spicy aioli sauce.
30 days. I want to sample that. Oh, Tracy, are you coming for a visit? Are you coming for a visit?
So here we go. We're going to go ahead and get started. Let's get our meal out because they come in bags.
Hey, Tracy's coming in 30 days.
Hey. We just put everything on the high shelves because you can't reach.
Oh, here we go.
Look at this. So this is a whole meal. This is a large meal. This is the pork tenderloin with spicy aioli in a bag for us to prep. So here we go.
Tenderloin.
Tenderloin. We've got cauliflower rice. Look at this, guys. Even comes with eggs. Check that out. This meal comes with everything.
Isn't that a little cool? Little egg holders.
Cabbage and carrots. We got our coconut aminos. Look at that. One of my favorites. Scallion. Tapioca flour. Spicy ginger lime aioli. And cashew pieces. Very cool. Now again, I am not a cook. I am not a chef. I'm an ordinary guy, father of 3, and awesome husband to Jennifer. And I just learned how to do this stuff in the kitchen. I didn't cook. And we got hooked on these box meals. Tonight's Green Chef. And I've learned to cook. pretty cool. So here we go. We're getting our cutting board out. Got all the stuff here. And it's got 6 steps that we're going to be doing throughout the night here. 6 steps. And we're going to prep. So prep is preheat the oven to 400 degrees. I've already done that. I went ahead and did that.
You didn't take my noodle board off.
I did not take the noodle board off. I'm going to go ahead and do that now. So we got the preheated oven. We're going to be using several pans and a cookie sheet tonight, I believe. So the first step is we got to roughly chop our roasted cashews, if necessary, which we're going to go ahead and chop them up a little bit. We're going to finely chop the cabbage and carrots. Looks a lot already chopped up. Oh, it says into rice-sized pieces.
Oh, you might need the...
We're going to trim and thinly slice the scallion. So what we're going to do is get us some bowls.
Danny says you should ask where they're all watching from.
I should ask where you're all watching from. If you all don't mind, go ahead and write in the comments of where you're at and where you're watching from. We're in South Carolina along the coast where it's 98 during the day and 95 at night. So we're going to start with our cashews.
Danny's in South Carolina too.
So if you guys have seen in some of my other videos, I use my, well, some people call it a chef knife. I call it an all-purpose knife. And whether or not it's the proper way to do it, I don't know. But I am going to chop.
Oh, Carlos is at Fresh Fruit Coffee House in Myrtle Beach.
Fresh Fruit Coffee, that's one of my favorite coffee houses.
Right?
I love the coffee there.
We have a user from downtown Longs.
All right.
Oh, Annie from Conway, South Carolina. Finally got on. Annie was struggling.
Nice.
We got Iowa.
Iowa.
Oh, Loris, South Carolina.
Very cool. Big town of Loris. Nice. All right, so let's chop these. We're going to go ahead and chop those. Let's get them in our bowl. So we got these all chopped up, and we're going to set them to the side over here. Throw away in our trash bowl over here. And then we're going to take our cabbage and carrots, and it says that we have to chop cabbage and carrots into rice-sized pieces.
Hey, we have Amanda from New York.
Whoa, New York. Listen, I visited New York one time. We did the Brooklyn Bridge.
Yes, we did, in the rain.
In the rain. But it was awesome to be able to experience that. Very cool. We have some friends from New York, and we got first-hand tour. We went down and saw the 9/11 museum. It was awesome. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a little quickie here. I'm going to try a little food processor to help chop the cabbage and carrots into rice-sized pieces. So I'm going to cheat a little bit and not use my knife. Well, I'll use my knife to open the bag. Does that count? I hope that counts. That's what we're going to do. Pop that in there. We're going to make sure that this stays locked. Plug this in. Put it on. Little dip, 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 dip. All right. Try to take that off. Put this back over here. Up and out the way.
Oh, it's Amanda from New York that I used to work with.
Hey!
We only met in person one time, but she trained me virtually.
Nice. All right, so we got it all. That all done. We're gonna throw that over there. And that looks good. I bet you I bet you that's for the fritters later.
It is for the fritters.
Yes. And the scallions. So we're gonna go ahead and chop up the scallions here. Chop up the scallions. Sometimes in some of these meals, they'll ask you to separate the white from the green. It does not ask me to do that. So, it makes things a little bit easier. We're going to chop the little, that little, looks like it reminds me of those 80s trolls. That's what it reminds me of. I don't know what they call that. I don't even know what part of the scallion I'm doing, but all I know is they smell really good when I run them over with my lawnmower. I've gotten really hooked on these scallions, and my wife says, well, you know they're out there in the yard. You run them over with the lawnmower. So we're going to go ahead and slice these. Sometimes they say at an angle. This one does not. So we're just going to slice. Thin slice. Thin slice. Look at that. Ooh. Can you smell that? I smell that. Very cool. Very cool. Again, I just learned how to cook, and these meals have really helped me learn to use spices and mixtures. And you know, I was a very picky eater growing up, and in my adult life, that when I started doing these things, I
Carla said, "Did you really just ask if we can smell it?"
Yes. Can you not smell it, Carlos? I'd go get that checked out.
For those of you that don't know, Carlos is our middle child.
I would go get that nose checked out if you can't smell it, because you know what? That smells good. You know what that smells like? It smells like 69-degree weather in April when we're experiencing 98-degree weather in the summer. Y'all keep that stuff to yourself.
Is it that hot up in New York?
I bet you New York is probably in the 70s, and they're out there wearing sweater vests and hoodies. And I enjoyed New York. New York was good, and I highly recommend, if you have not been to New York, find somebody that you know and get a personal tour. You know, all the hot spots. I don't want the touristy spots. No, I want the spots where real New Yorkers went. I want to be able to go into a Starbucks and have an argument with somebody going to the bathroom. So all I'm doing is I'm thinly slicing the scallion, wild onion here. Smells really good.
Oh, it's hot in New York too. Amanda says 99 heat index of 102.
No way. Keep it up there. Don't bring it down here. Keep it up there.
Annie says Scott's coming in late. What meal are you cooking?
Tonight we're doing the Green Chef pork tenderloin with spicy aioli sauce. It's going to have Japanese vegetable fritters. I'm really looking forward to that. And cashew cauliflower rice.
Cajun Chris is back again tonight.
Hey! That's my buddy from down there in the Cajun country. We got on one of the videos before, and my wife and I spent several years along the Mississippi Gulf Coast and up in Louisiana in a little pass-through town called Monroe. But we
West Monroe.
West Monroe.
We were there with the duck people.
We were there with the duck commander people. Got to experience a lot. And I was telling Cajun Chris the other day that all the years that we were along the coast there, I never really took to the mud bugs or the crawfish. Just couldn't do it. But man, it's all over the place. All right. So we're going to get our pork tenderloins. So guys, these meals come with everything, and even the meat. So the meat comes in a little package, already pre-portioned. And one thing I've learned while doing all these meals is that I gotta pat and dry the meat.
Cajun Chris, the onions are not fresh from the garden. They came in the package of the pre-packaged meal.
Cajun Chris, look at my thumbs, okay? Look at my thumbs. Does it look like they are green? I have no green thumb in my body. In fact, my grass is up to my knee outside because I don't take care of the lawn.
Yes, Amanda, his shirt does say, I like hot moms.
Well, of course. You've met my wife. Absolutely. All right, so I'm going to take the pork tenderloins. We're going to go ahead and pat them. Get them on here, get them drying. Rinse my hands. I like to rinse my hands all the time because I don't want, I'm not in a restaurant, but I don't want to make, my wife sick. I want her to experience good food after all those years of me trying, but, I make a mean pizza.
Frozen,
yes. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to pat that. Now we're going to pat the tenderloins dry, and then we're going to season with salt and pepper. That's pretty easy, right? Salt and pepper. We're going to heat 1.5 tablespoons of cooking oil in a medium oven-safe pan, which means that's telling me that I'm going to end up putting my frying pan in the oven tonight to finish the process. Again, guys, you've heard me say it before. I don't have any non-stick pans because I burn stuff. And you can't scrub with a wire brush on a drill or a SOS pad on a non-stick pan. So all my stuff's stainless steel. I also started everything off with some cooking spray, even though I'm going to add a little oil to it. Going to go ahead and get that going. Cooking oil tonight, EVOO, extra virgin olive oil.
Cajun Chris said he had a neighbor share some of his green onions with him, and now he's hooked on the flavor compared to the store.
Man, I love these green onions. All right. So I got my salt and pepper. Remember, salt and pepper are a pair. You don't separate the salt and pepper. Pair. They use in conjunction with one another. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and get that. It's getting up to high heat. We're going to sear it 3 to 5 minutes or until lightly browned on all sides. And then we're going to transfer to the oven and it's going to roast for 8 to 12 minutes. So then that way we'll get it going. And then we're going to move on to step 3. So let's go ahead and put some salt and pepper on this side. And then when I get them on the pan, I'll put salt and pepper on the other side. We use these little shakers, and we like to use the big salt crystals, kosher salt, big salt crystals. See, I don't know this kitchen stuff, okay? I get lessons from, my son-in-law and Carlos's boyfriend, Jimmy. I get lessons from them, and I follow directions, okay? I'm not a cook, I'm not a chef, but I follow directions, and that's what I do. I don't come up with this stuff on my own. Salt and pepper, pair.
This one's kind of a hard meal too, so
It's
this should be
a very hard meal. So I got that seasoned. We're waiting for the pan to heat up. We're going to go ahead and sear it, and then we're going to throw it in the oven to finish roasting. So in the meantime, while we're waiting for the pan to heat up a little bit, I'm going to take another sip of my whiskey sour. Look at that froth on there. Woo, good stuff. I don't know if you can see it, but the cherry's making it a very nice color.
Cajun Chris wants to know, what are your favorite spices so far?
Cajun Chris, for years I don't eat rice. To this day, I still don't eat regular rice. But I found that cauliflower rice is one of my favorites. Cauliflower rice is one of my huge favorites. And the seasoning that I've come accustomed to, I can eat just the rice and turmeric. Man, I've really gotten hooked on the turmeric with the cauliflower rice. And the mixture of that has such a great flavor. You don't want to go too much on it, but as it changes the color, it's really good. So turmeric is one of my new favorite spices for the cauliflower rice.
Judy said looks good.
Judy, it's going to be good. It's going to be
Now,
real good.
as far as spices go, I've become a huge fan of tarragon. It has
Tarragon.
kind of a minty taste, and
Now,
I used to love really spicy food, but I can't eat it as much as I used to.
Cajun Chris, the nice thing about this is with the spices, they all come already pre-mixed, pre-measured in these meals like Green Chef right here, this meal. So that way I don't have to take it out of the cabinet and taste it to try and see if it'll mix with one another. I leave that to the experts. I'm not the expert.
Harley says you should try golden tea.
Golden tea. What is golden tea? Harley, don't be throwing stuff out, okay? I just 3 months ago, I barely knew what salt and pepper was. Okay, is that a spice or do you drink that?
Cajun Chris says peppercorn and rosemary are two of his favorites.
Ooh,
Rosemary is another good one.
I think I got peppercorn in there, and is that what we put in the grinder?
Oh, she said golden tea is made with turmeric. It's a tea made with turmeric.
So you drink it. Okay. Golden tea. I may have to try that. We do our tea. We got the teapot here and do our tea. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and throw this pork on there. Let's get it searing. Can you guys see that? I may have to move a little bit. There we go. So let's go ahead and get this thing seared up. Hopefully you'll be able to hear it a little bit.
A little bit.
You hear that? Ooh. You know what that is? That's flavor being locked into the meat. I don't know if that's true or not, but you know, I'm just saying it because it sounded really cool. And then we're going to go ahead and season this side up with the salt and pepper.
Tracy, come get your brother.
Guys, I'm doing these videos because this is easy. I'm a novice, didn't know anything about it, and I'm making these meals that actually taste good. Imagine that.
They are really good meals.
Imagine that. I'm making meals that taste good. Okay,
Well,
so let's go on to our third step. So we're going to place cauliflower rice and the cashews into a medium bowl. We're going to drizzle that with 1 tablespoon of cooking oil, and then we're going to spread it out on a single layer on the cookie sheet. Now they say lightly oiled, but you know me, I don't do lightly oiled. I cheat a little bit, and we use this neat little silicone mat.
Tracy won't take it either.
All right, so we got our cookie sheet here. This is my lightly oil. The silicone mat. Works really, really good. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and take our cauliflower rice, our cashews.
So Cajun Chris said stale cracker is a Cajun cook TikToker that he thinks that we would enjoy. We'll have to look that up.
I'm going to have to look that up. Nice.
Thank you.
All right, so I got my rice, I got my cashews. We're going to drizzle a teaspoon of cooking oil, and we're going to season it with salt and pepper. EVOO. We're going to drizzle that with salt and pepper. We're just going to mix this up a little bit. A little bit of salt, a little bit of pepper, pear. Very cool. Mix it up. And then this is going to go spread out on to the cookie sheet that we have lightly oiled with a silicone mat.
So Nathan Allen 916 says we need a collaboration between Stale Cracker and Jerry WFC.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to have to check them out.
Keep in mind, I am not a chef or a cook. So we're going to spread this out. Guys, this is going to be so good. So some of the meals that we've done with the cauliflower rice and the cashews, it gives it a little crunch, which, I was thinking it while I was making it, I'm like, what the heck? What's going on? It's awesome. It's like an explosion of flavors. We're also going to take our pork and we're going to throw it in the oven as well.
Did you just say an explosion of flavors?
I said explosion of flavor. Look at that, guys. Oh, doesn't that look so good? Okay. Now, all right, so these are going to roast 10 to 15, 8 to 12. I'm going to say, hey, Google, set the timer for 13 minutes. Check that out. Listen to me the first time.
Cajun Chris, I'm the same way. He says he doesn't think he's ever cooked any meal the same way, always trying new flavors and combinations. Me too. That's what happens when you're a homegrown cook. Jerry is not.
Jerry follows direction. Jerry is not a cook.
But I am enjoying him trying.
Jerry does not take chances on flavors. Jerry follows directions.
And it's good.
And it's good.
I'm pretty sure that's your brother. Says, since when?
Since when I follow directions, or since when does the food good? All right, so we got that. Now we're going to get started with our fritter mixture. Woo! Holy cow. We're on step 4. We're going to make fritter mixture. And we got to start off with a large bowl.
Ooh, Annie suggested that I just drink your drink.
Large bowl. Annie, that's my drink, not hers.
Well, you don't have time to make another, so.
Okay, so large bowl, and then we're going to crack our eggs. These meals, this Green Chef tonight calls for 2 eggs, and look at these little things. I mean, look at that. I mean, it comes in these neat little things. You guys remember in school where we had to do the packaging for the egg drop, and you had to figure things out? Who would have thunk it that it's just a little piece of cardboard?
That's all you did. Us girls had to go through the whole gym class thing where we had to make an egg a baby and not break it for a week.
Okay. Look at that. Isn't that cool? All right, so we're going to go ahead and crack the eggs into a large bowl. Crack the egg.
Oh, that was brave of you. That was so brave of you.
What?
You just cracked it with one hand. That's so brave of you.
Am I not supposed to do that? Isn't that what the pros do? They do the whole crack of the egg and they go, look at that. Isn't that what the pros do?
Annie remembers the eggs. Yeah, Cajun Chris, me too. I learned by watching my mom. And trial and error, that's for sure.
Okay. So, step 4, crack eggs into a large bowl. Add coquino aminos.
No, that will be coconut aminos.
Coquino aminos. Give me my drink back, okay? Coconut aminos. Now, remember these little packets right here? The other day I was saying about the little packets. What I do is I twist it, because if I didn't twist it and I use my knife to cut it, it squirts all over my cutting board. And it makes a mess and it just messes things up. So what I do is I twist it 1 full turn. So now I've got a little twist in there, just like that. And then I'm going to cut the tip of it. That way it doesn't make a mess on my cutting board. Doesn't make a mess on my cutting board, and it gives me the little hole to put the coconut aminos in it. Coconut aminos. Did I say that right?
Why are you having struggles with that?
I don't know. I'm excited about this meal tonight, actually, because the fritters. Cracked eggs. I'm going to add all the coconut aminos. Y'all see that? I'm adding all the coconut aminos. We're going to add the tapioca flour. Now, if you guys haven't heard of tapioca flour, it's like a binder agent. There's no nutrient value whatsoever from what I'm told. Remember, I'm not an expert in the tapioca flour, but it gives it a good binding and amazing bread when mixed with almond flour and an egg. Oh,
And
good
it's
stuff.
low carb.
And it's low carb.
Yeah, low carb people use tapioca.
So we're going to add the tapioca flour. Again, Cajun Chris, look, it's pre-measured. I don't have to do anything with it. It's pre-measured and mixed already. So there's no, I'm not out there on my own trying to think of how to measure or how to mix stuff because it's already there. So we're going to add that. We're going to add a little bit of teaspoon of salt, a little bit of pepper. Always a pair. Salt, pepper. Stir to combine. Ooh, look at that. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and stir to combine all this. Now the tapioca flour helps keep it a little, not as liquidy, a little solidify. Is that a word? Solidify? Okay. You know, have you ever played with cornstarch and water and you made this product called oobleck and you make it dance and it's like a liquid when it's in your hand, but when you suddenly put movement to it, it hardens up. Same stuff.
So, Cajun Chris and I are on the same page because he says I use the that looks good to me method. That's how I cook.
Right? Okay, so we got our mixture. We're starting to combine. Now we're going to add the cabbage and carrots. Cabbage and carrots that we mixed up in the rice size. And half the scallions. I'm telling you what, this already looks good. So what we're going to do is we're going to add our carrots and cabbage. We're going to add half of our scallions. You smell? Ooh, smell those. Woo!
Carla, smell it.
So we're going to add half of those. We're going to mix those up. It says stir up until cohesive. Now, remember, when it comes to food, what is cohesive? I mean, does that look okay? All right, so we got that. Cohesive, we're gonna mix it up for about 1 to 2 minutes. Let that there. And then we're going to cook the fritters. We got to add cooking oil to a large nonstick pan over medium heat. So we're going to go ahead and get our pan going. We're going to go ahead and get some oil going in that. And we got to make sure that the pan is hot.
Judy says until it gets along with each other.
Until it gets along with each other. Okay. Until it gets along with each other. Not sure what to get along with each other, but it looks really good.
Cohesive, she said.
Cohesive. Well, you know, that's the word that they use here. Cohesive. So I'm going to assume that it's until we can, you know, like compact it and stuff is what I'm hoping. They're fritters.
Judy says smells good.
Oh, it smells amazing with these scallions and woo! You can smell the cauliflower cooking and the cashews is what I'm really smelling in the kitchen is the roasted cashews. We got about 4.5 minutes left on that. We got 4.5 minutes left on that. Ooh, good stuff.
Yeah, we'll share. Cajun Chris says if you ever wish to make a chicken and sausage gumbo, you can purchase already made roux. Really?
Really? Nice. Very cool.
I would love a chicken and sausage gumbo, but I may need to go back to New Orleans to get it.
Oh, we need to make another trip to New Orleans.
know.
We just need to get over there.
Tracy says it smells good, virtually.
See, Carlos? Everybody else is smelling it. Get that nose fixed.
She must be working because she's not responding.
She must be working. At my favorite coffee shop. Y'all get to the Myrtle Beach area. Get over there to the Broadway Street and visit Fresh Brew Coffee House.
It's non-profit. They help a lot of people. They make good coffee and snacks. It's a good place to go.
I'll tell you what, you mention my name, they'll charge you double.
Not true. Mention Carlos's name.
Okay, so we got that. We're going to go ahead and make our fritters. Man, that's good. Got to make sure that that's real hot because it says over medium-high heat until shimmering. Once pan is hot, we're going to add 2 large spoonfuls of the fritter mixture, lightly pressed to flatten. Cook 3 to 5 minutes on each side or until browned and crispy. So we're going to want to prepare them coming out of the hot oil. So we're going to want some paper towels and a plate. Make sure we have that. Ooh.
I'm excited about this meal.
I'm excited about this meal.
When
Okay,
when
so-
I ordered it, I didn't realize you're going to be doing it live, but we'll see.
Cook that. Look at that. I think we are ready for our fritters.
Hot.
Let's go ahead and get our fritters going here. All I'm doing is I'm just pouring the mixture right into the pan. Almost like scooping. To me, it looks like I'm scooping out pancake mix. To me, that's what it looks like.
Yes, Annie, you can help pick next week's meals. That's a good idea. Well, not next week, the week after. We have to pick them a little far, so we've already picked next week's. But the week after, we got to look at them.
Oh, week after, yeah. Yeah, that's a good idea.
Cajun Chris says the already made roux saves time and can also be used to make a great meatball stew.
Ooh,
That sounds good.
that sounds real good. And it's keto. Or it sounds that way. Which roux?
We're not eating keto. Okay.
Which roux?
All right.
Is that a spice or a vegetable?
No.
Or is that like a meat product? Or like a... so I've got my oldest daughter's a
Here we go.
vegetarian. My oldest
Here we
daughter's
go.
a vegetarian. And so we have these meat-like products. I've got unmeat in my freezer for when they come over to visit. So she'll have something to eat when we all have meat. I'm not sure what roux is, but the meatball meal that he was talking about sounds really good. Let me go flip these fritters real quick.
Roux is just basically your flour and your fat to kind of build a sauce. Oh, see, he answered too. He said flour and grease makes roux. I just say grease. I said fat. Same thing. Hey Google, stop timer.
Guys, I can't wait to show you guys. Look, you know what? I'm going to show it to you. Look at that.
Aren't they pretty?
Aren't those cool? I made this. I made this. Maybe a little hot, but I'm going to go ahead and finish those up. So I'm going to go ahead and check the pork chops. Pork tenderloins. Look at that. That's that cauliflower and cashews.
Oh, that's gonna be good.
Man, it's so good. Let me just set those over there.
Tracy said never would have believed it and
Look at
never
that.
seen it.
Woo! That handle's hot. I forgot to put my pan handle on that. That heat almost went through my worn out.
Okay, well that
oven
one's
mitt.
worn out. We have new ones. You just don't want to use them because they have flowers on them.
Okay.
Tracy said Danny's been a good influence. You know, making you stretch out your palate a little bit, eat more.
I have to admit, Danny did start it with those pierogies.
Pierogies.
Woo! Get a little smoky in here. See,
Oh,
this is
no,
what
the
happens.
alarm's gonna go off.
Yeah, smoke alarm's probably gonna go off, but it'll be all right. But this is what happens, guys. I'm smelling. This is.
It
Oh
doesn't
my
smell good.
gosh, you guys! You should be here. You should be here experiencing this because it smells so good. Holy cow!
Oh, okay, yeah. So Harley says Danny and I did
Yeah.
give you seasonings for Christmas.
They did give me seasoning, so my gift from them. So our theme at Christmas was homemade gifts. We have 3 kids, 2 older girls, and a teenage boy. And our theme this year was homemade gifts. And so all the gifts to each other had to be homemade. So I got homemade spices. Homemade spices right out of their garden. Isn't that cool? Very cool.
Cajun Chris gave us some recommendations for pre-made roux, and I told him we would definitely check that out.
Yeah, I'm
new.
gotta look into those meatballs.
Yeah,
That
because we
sounds
usually
really
only
good.
get 4 meals a week, so we still have 3 other days we have to eat. So
All right, so we're gonna cut our tenderloins. We're gonna cut our tenderloins into 6 to 8 slices. We're gonna divide the cauliflower rice between the 2 plates. We're gonna fan the pork over the top, shingle the Japanese vegetable fritters on the side, and drizzle with the spicy lime aioli and the scallions. Man, this is gonna be so good.
it's gonna be good.
Holy cow.
Cajun Chris, did we ask you where you're from? Can't remember.
All right, let me get the pork.
Louisiana. Thought so.
All right, let's go ahead and get this cut, get this plated because my wife's mouth is watering
Yeah.
for this.
I'm ready for another drink too. So
Guys, this is so easy. Green Chef. I mean, we've had a blast with this. I've had a blast with this. Whole process, trying to learn how to cook and experience these new flavors, and I'm having fun doing it. That's why I'm doing these videos to show that, you know, an ordinary guy like me who has no experience in the kitchen can actually do this. All right, so let's get my spatula.
Cajun Chris is from the southern coast of Louisiana. We lived on the Gulf Coast of Mississippi, and then we lived in northeast Louisiana.
We're going
We
to,
got a little bit of it all there.
nice. We're gonna fan this out. Fan that out.
I am super excited about this meal.
I don't know if you guys can see that. I'm just trying to make it look nice. You know, I gotta do
He wants
that.
to make it look like the picture.
I gotta make it look like the picture. We're gonna do that. We're gonna pop that in there. We're gonna take these 2 fritters here, just like that. We're gonna twist the top here. Make sure it doesn't spill all over my cutting board. I'm gonna drizzle. All right, I'm gonna invite my wife over here and have her test this plate out. Ooh, yes.
I'm really excited about this. I feel like I want it all. I know this is bothering you because food's touching, but
Yeah?
that's really good.
Guys, tonight, Green Chef, pork tenderloin with spicy aioli.
No, you're taking it away from me.
Check that out. Enjoy your night, guys. Appreciate it.
Yummy.